here in Wide Bay area of Queensland, Australia. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So if you're here joining me live, I would love for you to say hello and let me know that you're watching. No pressure though, we're a friendly bunch, but you know, that's entirely up to you. And what else? If you're watching on replay, thank you also for your time. I know that we all have busy lives, so if you've made time to come and check out what I'm making today, thank you so much for that. Now, before we start, I have to just say that there is a great joining offer we're stamping up at the moment. If you're thinking about joining up, now is a great time. You don't get too many chances for a great offer like this. So at the moment, we're having a promotion called Starter Kit Plus, and for the usual $169 in Australia, you're actually getting an extra $48 worth of product more than the usual joining offer. So in total, you'll be getting $114 worth of free product. Now that product, that starter kit, can be any current product that's available in the catalogue, in the online exclusives, and also in the clearance rack. Don't forget the clearance rack. Lisa Adley, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Wasn't quite sure whether you'd make it, but it's nice to have you here. Thank you. Now, if you're interested in this joining offer by any chance, you can either contact me, I can help you go through the process, or you can go to monicaformosa.stampinup.net.au and you will find a tab along the top that says join my team or something similar, and you can work through the online process without my help at all. That's entirely up to you. Okay, so that's what's happening at the moment. There's also a designer paper sale, 15% off the papers at the moment, and there's a lot to choose from. No specialty papers, unfortunately, but just the regular standard papers. So that's another thing that's happening, and I think that's just about it from a customer point of view. Okay, so today I want to try something new. I had an idea sparked in my head late last week about embossing with Enamel Effects. Because we've all embossed with the embossing paste, and we've all used our ink and blending brushes to apply colour through a stencil or a mask, decorative mask. But I thought, you know what, this is liquid, this would work. So that's what we're going to try today. Okay, let me put my catalogue just over here, out the road. So for that little trick, I have grabbed the Foursquare decorative masks, and I have set up this mask on my Stamparatus, and I've pushed that into the corner, and I've just taped it down with a little bit of painter's tape. So what I'll do is I'll end up slipping my cardstock, like lifting that up and slipping it in underneath, so that's nice and firm. The other masks in this pack are gorgeous. You have 2 of these which actually layer. You can layer these up or this way. These 2 layer up to create a double pattern, or you can use them on their own. And this gorgeous little oh, I don't know what you call that, but it's a lovely geometric square design there. Okay, so that's what we're using. Is it raining at your place, Lisa? Are you copying all this rain that's supposed to be happening at the moment down south? We're having lovely weather here in Queensland, I've got to say. All right, so stamp sets I'm going to be using is the Textured Floral, and I've grabbed the dies because I've die cut some pieces ahead of time just to save, but we want to use this foliage die here and the framelit here that coordinates with this stamp. And I've also grabbed two-tone Floral. Now this little trick has been inspired by the lovely Ruth Trice. She did some stamping this morning on her YouTube channel, and I was just amazed at how well it all went together. So I'll be doing that little trick that she showed us. Okay, so that's our stamp sets and dies. I've grabbed the Night of Navy and Fresh Freesia ink pads because this is part of the SU Color Challenge over on YouTube. For embellishments, I thought I would use the Adhesive backed sparkle gems. These have 3 different colors, the silver, the black and the gold, in 2 different sizes. So that's what you get in that pack there. Nice and sparkly. I'm not sure whether that shows up on camera, but there's a lot of sparkle going on there. We have rain, but it hasn't rained in weeks. Yeah, I think it's quite dry here too, because hubby got out on the weekend and started up our sprinklers. So, okay. All right. So, for this card, I've already stamped and die cut my flower, but I will do this again just so that you can see what I have done. I've die cut a few pieces of the foliage from the Textured Floral dies in Night of Navy. This was stamped Fresh Freesia and then Night of Navy on basic white, just so that you all know. Okay, I'll just put that out the road because I've done that ahead of time. Okay, a Night of Navy card base. You will need 2 pieces of Fresh Freesia and 2 pieces of basic white. One is to go in the center, and these have just a tiny little fine 1/8 of an inch border. No, actually I think it's 1/16 because I cut it smaller. The basic white is 1/8 smaller than the Fresh Freesia, which gives you a tiny, nice fine border, which is how I like to work. And yes, I work in inches, so I apologize in advance. And then you need a second one for your card front. Your Night of Navy card base. You also need, so this one of these card fronts, the one that goes on the front, you need to emboss in your Enamel Effects. Now I've done this one ahead of time because they do take a little bit of time to dry so they're not sticky. So I did this earlier this morning and it's dry. It's not tacky at all. I don't know whether you can see that, but it just puts a little bit of texture onto your cardstock, and I'm quite pleased with how that kind of has turned out. But I'll do it again for you now so that you can see the whole process. Okay, so I need that one, and I need to put them there. And I also, to my side over here, I've also got a container with water in it. Now the Enamel Effects don't dry as fast as the embossing paste does, but I still like to put my stencils into water as soon as I'm done. Can't stand centimeters. No, I don't like them much either, to tell you the truth, for my crafting. But each to their own, you know. Some people, that's all they use and get confused by the 8ths and the 16ths and the quarters. But anyway, each to their own, as I said. So I'm going to lift up my stencil and I'm going to put this under here and kind of line it up. So I will probably trim this down. I will need to trim this down. So that's all right. So I'm going to put that under there. Now, if you wanted to, you can grab a magnet. I've got tape on my magnet, so I can easily pick them up again. And I'm just going to tape that down there. So here comes the exciting bit. I might use this one. All you need to do is grab your bottle and just whack it on. Okay. I'm going to get a jar from here and just put that upside down, and I'm just going to smooth this out now. I kind of go, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Let me get a drink of water here. Got a bit of a croaky throat. All right, so I kind of go in a bit of a diagonal pattern. There's no real right or reason. Maybe add a bit here and a bit there. All right, okay. Get a rag and we'll wipe that off. Take my magnet away. I'm going to lift up my mat. Now that has gone in underneath a little bit, but that's okay. Right, there's my tape, and I'm just going to put this into my container of water, especially while I'm videoing, so it doesn't dry out. So there's our embossing with the enamel paste or Enamel Effects. It has leaked a little bit underneath there, but you can use that to your advantage. So how cool is that? Like, in that pack, I can imagine for Christmas time that would be pretty good. So in the basics, the Pearlised Enamel Effects basics, you get a white and a red, and then this is black, which kind of looks grey when you apply it. So yeah, for Christmas it'd be nice to do a red or a white version. You could, you know, and then yeah, and then also Stampin' Up! Have, I'm getting a bit sidetracked here, they also come in another pack. This is the metallics. So that other pack was pearl, and this is metallics, and you get a gold, a silver, and a copper in the metallics pack. So yeah, like it's going to be great to experiment with those, I feel. All right, so we're going to set that aside to dry, and like I said, I have prepared one earlier. Oh, Cindy's here, and Lisa, and Candy too. Hi, Candy. Thank you so much. Are you trying to enable? Oh, absolutely, Cindy. Absolutely. That's my job. That's what I'm here for. Okay, so here's one I prepared earlier, and this is going to take probably a good couple of hours to dry off. overnight would probably be best. So here's one that I did earlier this morning. We're going to just put this, glue this down onto, and I will put my that knife in there, my embossing knife. Where's my glue? All right, so we're just going to glue this down. And liquid glue is my favorite because you have wriggle time. And not quite yet, but so that's that. All right, now I need a piece of white cardstock to show you how I did the stamping. I've got a scrap over here somewhere. Yes. All right. So some of you lovely ladies might have seen Ruth this morning do this little trick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the textured, it's on my textured floral. I guess it's a rose, but it can be anything you like. I'm going to grab my piercing mat because we're using photopolymer stamps. No, not that one. I want this one. Fresh Freesia. I'm going to stamp my flower. And guys, in case you missed it, this is for the SU Colour Challenge over on Facebook, and the colours are Night of Navy, Fresh Freesia, and Basic Grey. So I'm using artistic license and using the black enamel effects as my grey. All right, so there's our flower. Now this morning the lovely Ruth Trice went and then grabbed this stamp here from Two Tone Flora, and she has stamped it over the top of this rose. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's amazing how it actually lines up. Well, it doesn't line up perfectly because they're two different stamp sets, but I thought it was amazing. Let me see, I'm not quite sure. There's really no right or wrong here, but there we go. Committed. We're committed. All right. So there you have this lovely, I've got ink all over my hands, this lovely Fresh Freesia flower. It's, yeah, that comes from textured floral, sorry, rather. And then the details have been added in Night of Navy from Two Tone Flora. Now, if you didn't like all that white in there, you could grab a blending brush and just add a little bit more Fresh Freesia, but make sure that your Night of Navy is totally dry, because what will happen is that you'll actually blend out that Night of Navy ink as well. So what might have been a smarter thing to do if you're not happy with the white is just blend your Fresh Freesia through it first before you add your Night of Navy. That will probably save you a lot of heartache down the track. Right, so there's our stamping. I've gone ahead and done one a little bit earlier just to save a little bit of time, and we're going to add dimensionals to the back of that. There's my lilies. There are my big ones. And I tend to use quite a lot of dimensionals. Because I'm of mature age and I don't like things sagging. Okay, so where's this one? Let me grab a couple of these. So what I intend to do is go this way, and get this other one, and maybe go like that. And I will trim them off actually, because I don't like, where are my snips? Oh, wouldn't you know it? Okay, I'm just going to trim these back a little bit, just so that there's not so much bulk in underneath my flower. All right, so we're going to go like this and a little bit like this to opposite corners, and this one in here because I like threes, and we're going to add that like that maybe, but I'm going to actually take them down. Had old DSP that had starfruit. Oh my word. Goodness me, Cindy, that I think, believe it or not, I think they were the very first in colours that welcomed me when I first found Stampin' Up. All right, so I'm just going to add a little bit of tape over the top of that, just to hold them in place. You don't need to do that. You could probably use your dimensionals to hold it there. Oh, can you hear those crows? All right. I'm going to put that on top. So there's our top bit, and we will add, so I'm going to add, just to give it a little bit more, make it a little bit more special. And I will add a little bit of glue to the backs of my dimensionals so that I have wriggle time, because once those dimensionals hit the cardstock, they tend to stay there forever. Okay, make sure my card is the right way. And there's our card front. I will probably add in a sentiment, which will more than likely be a birthday. Oh, Cindy! Goodness me. Yeah. I thought I had plenty of what's that other one that came back? Pretty Peacock. But I only had 3 sheets left, and I thought, oh geez, I need to get some more. All right, so a few sparkles, silver. Might get a big one here, I think, a larger one. Go down here, and another large one down the bottom. Really happy with how this has kind of turned out, and I've just, oh shoot. There. So there's our card front all done. Now for the inside, I didn't do anything too special on the inside, but I did do two layers of cardstock, and that's just gotten a little bit wet for some reason. You could definitely add a stamped image. Little bit of glue. You could, oh, you know what we should, oh, it's it's all wet now. And I say, what I might end up doing is going back and adding a little bit more of the Enamel Effects to the inside, to the top and bottom corner. But my mask is all wet, so I won't do that now. Yes, done. There you go, ladies. Super quick. Absolutely thrilled with this little discovery that I kind of thought of. There's our, I don't know whether you can see that, but there's whether you can see the layers. And with a little sentiment, I don't have a strip of white to show you, but a little bit of a sentiment underneath, across this corner here, just underneath the flower. You can leave it as is. So that's it. Done. Thank you so much, everyone. I really do appreciate you all being here and watching. Please go and have fun with your masks and enamel effects. Remember where you saw it first, guys. And I think Ellen was going to... Oh, yeah, I don't think so either, Cindy, but, you know, some people like to have a sentiment, but, you know, each to their own. I make a lot of cards without sentiments, actually, to tell you the truth. I just like showing off my work and not hiding it under anything. Right, okay, guys, I hope you have a good week. All being well, I will be back again next week. If something happens, I will let you know. I've got classes at the end of next week, Friday and Saturday, if anyone is interested in coming along, if you're local to me. We will be using the stylish shapes. What did I decide to use? I can't remember now. Oh, the other ones, that the stylish shapes, and these ones, the radiating stitches dies with stylish shapes. That's what I'm focusing on for my classes. So if you want to come along and have some fun, please let me know. All right, Cindy, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you caught me live too. The sun's coming in my window because it's that time of year. And I don't know whether I can make any difference. No. No. There's just a little gap between my blinds, and that's where it's coming in here. So, all right, guys. Have a great week. Anyone who needs prayers, you're in them. I've got a few friends going through a few hard times at the moment. So, yeah, you're in my prayers. So I'm thinking of you. And we will catch you again next week. Ta-da! Bye for now.